Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Friday Faith Sessions. I know it has been quite some time. This video is pretty much just going to be an update video since I know I haven't posted since like mid-May, just to catch everybody up on what's interfered with um, my ears. What's interfered with me being able to make videos. So thank you for tuning in. And before I hop into that, I know that the DTRF, the Desmond Tumor Research Foundation, is doing their annual Running for Answers fundraiser this year, but it's going to be virtual again the way it was last year. I have yet to start a fundraising page, but when I do that, I'll be sure to link the link in the description box where you could go to find the page on Facebook, on my personal Facebook, if you're interested in donating. So hopefully before the next session, I'll have that up and ready and ready to go and things of that sort. Also, just as a reminder, if you ever want to reach out to me for anything, ask me questions that you don't feel comfortable putting in the comments or sharing with me your testimony so that I can share with others, or even if you just want to share it for me to see with my own eyes, feel free to contact me at 1lbdt@gmail.com. It's written down in the description box that it's my email for this channel, my Live Breathe Beat Desmond Tumor channel. So again, if you want to reach out to me in any way, you can do it via email at the moment. Basically, so I don't know where to start. Let's see. I would say back in about April, maybe. April, well, if you guys have, if you kept up with my videos, you know that I started experiencing pain in my body in August of last year. And this was new, totally new. Throughout the entire course of me dealing with this desmoid tumor, I have never experienced the type of pain that I had most recently. And as a result of that, there would be some days where the pain was so bad that by the time I get out, you guys, my ear is like really bothering me. By the time I get out of bed and make it downstairs, it would be a struggle for me to cook myself breakfast. And after that, I would basically be on the couch, just even with taking like Tylenol to try and help, I would still just be many days just kind of on the couch in a fetal position, holding my stomach, because that was all I could do was just sit and let the pain would just be there. And so my activity level dropped drastically. And I noticed in April, I remember talking to my sister one day, and I was like, Pookie, I think I'm losing weight. Like, I could tell I'm not that big to start with. Since surgery and everything occurred, the biggest, the heaviest I've made it to is maybe like 148. I'm 5'8" in height, so 150 is like a perfect weight for me. And the closest I ever got to that was like 148. So my weight always fluctuated. It would be up, it would be down, it would be up, it would be down, but it was never so drastic to the point where I looked like I was losing weight. And back in April, I had noticed that I started looking like I was losing weight. I was like, there was just certain parts of my body that were saggy, and the muscle tone was deteriorating. And I'm like, well, what in the world is going on? And meanwhile, I'm experiencing all this pain. It would be to the point where I couldn't really do a lot of, if I had to run errands, I had to spread them out. So say normally I could probably get 5 or 6 errands done in a day. If I got to run here, run there, run there, it. I was to the point where if I had to do more than one errand, I had to split it up. If I had to go grocery shopping, that would be one day, because by the time I got done, I would be done. And so my activity level dropped and my weight started to drop. Now, at the time, I still was eating fine, but I just wasn't moving. And as April progressed and then May came in, things started to get a little bit worse. I started to realize that, like, I really losing weight. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm eating, but I'm not moving, which you would think would help me gain weight, but it wasn't. And then it got to the point where I just was really weak, and I started vomiting and having fevers, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I had a follow-up visit in May in order to see my oncologist to get the results of my latest MRI scan. And by the time I made it to that follow-up visit, I was no good. I mean, I was sorely dehydrated. I was very weak. Just talking was a lot of effort and a lot of work. And so the doctor basically admitted me right away. So this is May the 24th we're talking about. May the 24th, I get admitted, and anyone who's been in the hospital, you know that one of the first things they do is weigh you. They weighed me, and now I forgot to mention it, but my weight typically stays between 135 and 145. Within that 10-pound range, that's where I fluctuate. And I would say my average is 140. Usually I'm steady at 140. And they weigh me after they admit me, and the scale reads 123 pounds. And I was like, now I knew I was losing weight, but I didn't know it was that bad. 123 pounds is what I weighed when I got admitted to Fox Chase. And so they admitted me. I was having fevers. I was vomiting. I was dehydrated. I wasn't able to drink a lot. So they admitted me, and they ran every test they possibly could. They ran blood tests, they took cultures, they took urine samples, they checked my lungs. They did a CT scan, and they found an abscess behind my stomach. And they thought maybe, well, that's probably was causing a lot of the fevers and things of that sort. Maybe that's what's causing you to be so sick. So they extract the fluid from the abscess. They study that, nothing. I have absolutely no bacterial infection in my body, so there's no reason for the fevers that I was having. And they bombarded me with antibiotics to the point where it really messed with my skin this time around. Thankfully, it's starting to get better, but they gave me antibiotics from probably the second day that I was there until, because I was there for 6 days. So they gave me antibiotics starting like the 25th until I left there. And then they sent me home with more antibiotics. But the blow, this particular blow to my body was so strenuous that it really took me a while to bounce back. Like, I'm just now getting to the point where it's stronger, and I'm still having an issue gaining the weight back. I actually had a follow-up earlier this week on Monday, and the scale said 122. So I'm still having a little bit of an issue picking the weight back up. I am eating well. I haven't had an episode since last Saturday. Yesterday was a so-so day for me. Today is much better. Pain-wise, I'm definitely doing a lot better than before. I still have to take everything little by little. I still have to do things in small increments. Like, if I have a goal for today to get 5 things done, I have to spread it out still. And if I get one of those 5 things done, then I've made an accomplishment. So this blow was really, really heavy. And it took me a while. I stayed in Philly at my parents' house for a month. They refused to let me go. um, so typically, if you guys, usually if I'm unable to do a taping, a showing, a recording, then I'll put up like Friday Thief sessions on paper and just give a little thought. But so I'm doing much better now. There's still a lot of cloudy, but in need of clarity before we go forth and make a decision. But I'm in a place where I don't want the doctors are talking chemo, heavy duty chemo, like when I first had chemo, the type that would make me lose my hair and make me more sick, or surgery, which for the longest I've been told was not an option. So my total reliance is on the hand of God to move, and that's it. So that's the update. I'm doing much better now. So we should be back in session from here on out perfectly. There are no more interruptions because my last session was the 22nd one, and that's monumental for me, definitely. So, if I were to leave you with anything, I definitely want to leave you with some type of encouraging word, and that would be this: don't buckle at the knees. Don't buckle at the knees. Don't bend the knees. And here's where that comes from. So earlier this week, I was on the phone. I was FaceTiming my mom, and we were chit chatting a little. And my niece comes in the room to say, well, my niece, my youngest niece, she likes to put on these little fashion shows and things of that sort. So she came in the room and she wanted to do a little fashion show performance type thing. So she has my dad, who's in the room, also announce her. Excuse me. And then she announces him. And she says, the first thing we're going to do for this show is a trust exercise, right? And so she says, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to fall back and Pop Pop's going to catch me. And I said, okay. And so I'm watching. And she's standing there ready to do the fall. And every single time she goes to fall back, she steps back and she bends her knees instead of just falling completely back. And my dad or Pop Pop is like, no, you can't bend your knees. You can't bend your knees. You gotta just fall back. Just fall straight back. I said, yeah, that's the point. It's called a trust exercise. So it takes a couple times before she builds up enough courage to just completely fall back, no bended knees, no push stepping back. And she finally does it, and my dad catches her. And all of this week, I'm like, I gotta do my Faith Friday sessions again, God. But what am I going to say? And that situation kept replaying in my mind. It kept replaying in my mind. And that word is just don't buckle at the knees. Trust God wholly and completely, and fall back. Fall back. Okay, and that's where I am. That's exactly where I am, because in the situation that I'm in, it is impossible. It is an impossible situation, and the doctors have done everything that they can do, and I have to completely fall back and just trust that God is going to handle everything. That God's going to do the work, complete the work, and manifest the work soon. And yeah, so I also just want to read to you Psalms 84. Um, this is I think I keep saying that this is the NLT. It's not the NLT. It is the NIV. And hopefully none of this is interrupted, because there's a sign on my thing that says that my connection is unstable. So hopefully I'll have to look back on this. Okay. Psalms 84. Don't buckle at the knees. Don't buckle at the knees. just trust and fall back. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty. My soul yearns, even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may have her young, a place near your altar, Lord Almighty, my King and my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. The autumn rains also cover it with pools. They go from strength to strength till each appears before God in Zion. Hear my prayer, Lord God Almighty. Listen to me, God of Jacob. Look on our shield, O God. Look with favor on your anointed one. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless. Lord Almighty, blessed is the one who trusts in you. Don't buckle at the knees. Trust him completely and fall back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back at it. Prayerfully, I will see you next week. Enjoy this rainy weekend if you're anywhere in the Delaware and Philadelphia area. Keep your head up. Keep moving. Whatever you do, don't stop trusting and believing in God. And until next time, toodle.